Yeah! Woo! It is fight day, fight night. We're fighting again for the last time in 2022. Let's go, Casey.
Well, it's the last ultimate fight of 2022. Yeah,
I don't know. By the time I'm watching them, I don't even know if those fights will be happening, or if they'll be 2023 or not. But it's the last of the most ultimate of fights for absolutely certain. Hey, everybody. It's your host. I'm Jed Meshew of MMAfighting.com. Great website. And this is the People's Pre-Fight Show. You know what it is. 30 minutes until UFC Vegas 66 goes down. And we got nothing better to do but to talk to you fine people. Answer your questions. Shoot the ish while we wait for the last fight card of 2022. The last UFC fight card. And since I don't give Bellator any respect, the last fight card in general of 2022. Even though there is a KSW going on as we speak. So if you've got questions, fire them into the chat. And me and my esteemed producer, co-host, and colleague, Mr. 3024, E. Casey Leydon, will answer them. So let's get to it, folks. 30 minutes, clocked, countdown on the clock. We're ready to go because I think we didn't lose any fights, Casey, right? Nothing that I can remember we've lost in the last hour.
Nothing today.
We're finally, normally we start the show and then it's like, actually, we've got an extra 30 because somebody missed weight, something dropped off. Not the case. Everybody made it. So we should be kicking off on time. So let's hop to it.
Do the questions. Oops. We'll go to the very top. All right. Here we go. Ooh, it's kind of big.
Joseph Bellotti. Guys, do you see the winner of Cannonier Strickland facing the winner of Vettori versus Dolidze next? I think that was announced yesterday. Certainly targeted, maybe actually official. Roman Dolidze going to be challenging Marvin Vettori early next year. I am not normally a matchmaking guy. This is where Mike Heck would come in handy, or AK Lee. Bums, total bums, just doing stuff like spending time with their family, or I don't know what AK is doing, but he's not here. But I actually, just off the top of my head, that seems like kind of a reasonable matchup. That's not because I don't. The winner of, if Dolidze beats Vettori, he's close to a title shot. I think Vettori's still probably a couple away, but.
Just because he's a new face.
Yeah, new face.
Yeah, more that reason. Right. Timing.
Vettori's coming off a loss, is he not? I have to pull him up now. Now I have to pull him up if he or did he rebound? No, he lost to Robert Whittaker. He did beat Paulo Costa, but he lost to Bobby Knuckles.
Okay, so he's one loss.
So I still think even if he's higher ranked than Dolidze at the moment. So, but that's not a bad bit of matchmaking. I might steal that from you, Joseph, because I will be co-hosting on to the next one with AK Lee tomorrow. Mike Heck on vacation into the year with the holidays with his family. So I'm stepping into the shoes that I am not nearly as good at Mike as. So I might just steal that because, looking at it feels pretty right. Like, that's a very reasonable matchup. But middleweight's fun. I know you guys were talking about it yesterday on the preview show. Middleweight feels really interesting these days, Casey.
It is interesting how just dominant champions make the sport boring. It's weird.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's the weirdest thing. Like we kind of even like to say that it's just like little middle ground. Like now 205 is kind of not. There's no domination at 205, so it was kind of we kind of just make fun of it. But because we're kind of like this new era, maybe with 185, it seems fun. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I do want to see Vettori Strickland at some point, though. That's the fight I do want to see, just because it's just I'll take it back. I don't want to see the fight. I want to see Vettori Strickland, but them just do lots of those one-on-ones of Ariel kind of going back and forth.
You just want to see the hype, the build.
I just want to see that. I don't actually care about the fight. Yeah, that's one. I have no problem admitting that one.
I think that's fair because that fight they're the same fighter. Marvin Vettori is just much thicker.
Yeah.
Sean Strickland. with a much better chin. So yeah, I don't care about that fight, but honestly, I pulled up the UFC's rankings right now. I know they're not the rankings that matter. We have the only ones that matter, but I know Dricus Duplessis is kind of hanging around.
Yeah.
There's an option there. So, but yeah, it honestly seems like a pretty good bit of matchmaking. So, well done, Joseph. Good on you, my man.
All right.
DX14, what up, everybody? Who you got between Tsarukyan and Ismagulov? Casey, fight of the weekend, fight of the month, fight of
Yeah,
the.
it's definitely the best fight of the weekend. On paper.
I think it's the best fight of the month on paper. I think it's better than anything we had the last couple weekends. This fight just rules.
It's a great fight. I'm going Tsarukyan. I felt Tsarukyan won his last fight against Gamrot. Extremely awesome fight. Close fight, but I thought Tsarukyan won. And as much as I like, how do you say his first name? Desmir?
Demir.
Demir. I thought Guram won. It was a great fight too, but so it was kind of weird. The fight's awesome, but I feel like the timing's weird on it. But I'm still going to go Tsarukyan in a super awesome fight that. Yeah, I'm happy it's co-main event too. I'm happy it wasn't buried. Because I feel like the UFC does bury a lot of fights like this. But no, Tsarukyan's up there, and I think Tsarukyan will win it.
I'm with you on Tsarukyan. I think this fight's great. It's super competitive. It's more competitive than I thought it would be. Ismagulov is really good at defensive wrestling, and he has a great jab.
Yeah, it's
And
gonna be super interesting.
I think that jab is going to give Tsarukyan some problems early. But I have recently decided that I am just going to pick who's the better athlete because, like, 9 times out of 10 in fights, we want to believe that things matter more and that it's skills, etc. But really, who's the better athlete is is determining so many fights these days. And I think Arman Tsarukyan is an elite athlete, whereas Demir is just a plus athlete. And so younger guy, more explosive, quicker twitch. Give me him. I think he's going to really try and put a pace on here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to get a finish though. I know. I think AK predicted a stoppage yesterday. I'd be pretty surprised if either guy got a finish here, but this could be. It wouldn't shock me if Demir wins a not like controversial, but a decision that some people disagree with, a la Gamrot Tsarukyan. You know,
Yeah. Tsarukyan is. I'm gonna go with Tsarukyan. The athleticism and the fact that he's younger and getting better, while Ismagulov I think is kind of the finished product right
yep,
now.
I'm with
So
you. He doesn't have too much to go. If he's got another leap, it's very small. Whereas Tsarukyan could be entirely different in like 6 months from now. So yeah, I'm with you on it.
but it's one of those things too. If Arman cannot get around that jab, then if you can't get around that, then you lose the fight.
Yeah,
That's
if he's having to
if it was in
shoot,
the bigger if it was in the
yeah, I
bigger
was saying,
cage, I might give Ismagulov a better chance. But being in the
it's
small
true.
apex cage, using that jab is gonna be tougher to keep Tsarukyan off those legs. But
It is true. If he can start getting that jab rocking though, like if Tsarukyan is gonna have zero success shooting from outside of the jab range. So if he can't find ways through to circumvent that, it's gonna be a tough night for him. But that's why I'm so excited. It's my favorite fight
yeah,
of the month, of the weekend, certainly. This is appointment viewing for me. So
I just like it a lot because I like both fighters a lot, and I just like I said, like the jab and the takedown defense. I don't know what's gonna happen. He obviously has great jab, great takedown defense, but we'll see if it plays out. Um, Last week we had the James Krause shit show. Let's talk about this week's shit show.
love shit shows. Scott McCray, not sure if it's something you want to talk about, but that whole Jake Shields, Mike Jackson fight in the PI was disturbing to me. No one came to help Jackson from what I saw. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I don't want to dive too deep into them,
Yeah,
but Casey, I would love to hear where you're at first.
my big thing is these guys have talked a lot of crap toward each other online, and it's not about fighting. It's about basically their political beliefs and stuff. Getting into a fight, I'll just call it a fight, doesn't mean anything. Doesn't prove anyone's right. Doesn't prove what Mike Jackson said was right or wrong. Doesn't prove what Jake Shields said was right or wrong. Them getting a fight only proves what we already knew, that Jake Shields is the better fighter. And going back more about this comment, the fact that it was a fight on the floor at the UFC PI, bad look on the PI, bad look on the UFC, bad look on a bunch of people watching that fight happen and not breaking up. It's a performance institute. It's not let's get in fights at corporate headquarters. It almost reminds me. I just thought that scene in Doctor Strangelove. It's like, what is it? There's no fighting in the war room.
This is the war room.
Yeah, you can't fight. This is the war room. Yeah. There's no winners in this situation. It's just just something stupid. And I don't want to get too deep into it, but it's dumb. And it was disturbing, but it's also dumb.
Dumb is certainly the most appropriate one. My thoughts on this really boiled down to very simply. I didn't dive too deep into it. I watched the video, but I will say one of my first reactions was all of those people standing around a huge piece of shit because a lack of basic human empathy or the intervening in this thing. Like I just don't know what anyone was doing there. Here's the deal. Setting aside entirely the political views of both parties, this is not how adults behave themselves in an organized society. Moreover, even if Mike Jackson said something directly to Jake Shields at the moment before that happened, it is probably not socially acceptable behavior to do that. If he did not, and this is just Jake is mad online and then he's mad IRL, it's incredibly not acceptable. And most importantly, there is no other way to classify this for me beyond this is coward bully shit. Because, as you said, none of us are under any illusions about who would win this fight. And it doesn't make him right or wrong by winning the fight. But for the same reasons that you and I would not go fist fight a 12-year-old, regardless of what they said, that's not how you comport yourself. And doing so is the act of a bully. Picking a fight with someone you are going to beat is a coward move. Jake does that to Francis Ngannou. Let me tell you, he just ain't going to do it. Now, Francis didn't say what Mike said or whatever, but I am willing to bet you any amount of money that if Francis popped off at the mouth and said something similar, Jake is going to walk his ass away. And keep that same energy is really where I come down on it. And Jake issued a statement saying he was in the wrong, I believe, in the afterwards, and he was, and he tried to equivocate or whatever. And I ain't giving Mike Jackson a pass because truly, I actually don't know what transpired between the two of them online. It may shock you to know this. I try very hard not to pay attention to Jake Shields online. But that's just don't be an adult. If people say something you don't like, just be an adult about it. And it's really not a high bar to ask. And also, what the hell is Jake Shields doing at the PI? He hasn't fought in the UFC in 20 years. What's he doing there? So it's really stupid. It's very dumb. And the amount of people standing like what's an objective act of cowardice is the part that really bothered me.
It is weird. It is very
it's just like a lot of people were like, well, I bet he won't talk shit. I was like, I don't know if you guys know who Mike Jackson is. I don't think he's going to stop saying anything because frankly, Jake probably did more to prove Mike Jackson's point than disprove it. And also to end it on the funniest possible note, love that Jake Shields still getting a decision win over Mike Jackson. What an absolute legend.
You got to stay on brand. You got to
stay on brand. I'm going to beat you up by taking him out and then not actually damaging you.
Getting side control and just throwing some little elbows. That's
cool. And everybody who stood around and just watched, I don't know what the hell you guys are doing, but that's not the behavior of grown adults or serious people. It's just everybody's bad. Everything looked poor. and we should hope for things to be better. But you know,
And the fact that this happened to the UFC PIs, it's not good either. Like that got like I saw like 700 just on Twitter alone. I had like 700,000 views. That's just on one platform. Who knows how many other views on other platforms they got? But I'm sure upwards a couple million and everything. But
for sure,
all right, good
for
look.
sure.
All right, moving off the stupidity, let's talk about actual fights because fights are not stupid, like real fights.
Fights are awesome, real fights. Forrest Daniels, who's your most confident underdog pick on the card? Mine is McKenna and Cannonier. Well, I don't know if you know what the word most means, but it usually delineates one over the other, and you gave us two for us. So
It's a tie.
It's a tie. Interestingly, you're that confident in Corey McKenna. She's very young, but Velismus is not old and has looked probably better. Casey, if you're picking an underdog, who are you on here?
I didn't know Cannonier was an underdog actually.
I think he is actually pretty close to even money.
Okay,
He was the very, very slight underdog a couple of days ago. Let me see where. Right now, he is actually the betting favorite at -120. Come back on Sean Strickland at +100.
So Forrest Daniels, this comment.
So Forrest
makes
Daniels,
no sense.
McKenna is your underdog because Jared Cannonier, he ain't that anymore.
Yeah, and it's interesting too of McKenna on Tapology, just the straight picks. 52% are picking the underdog.
Really?
So,
Okay.
I mean, if I'm actually in my official picks, I'm actually picking Cannonier and McKenna. So I don't even actually consider them underdogs. I thought those were kind of pick'ems, to be honest. But as far as true underdogs, I'm not. I could see Bobby Green winning. I could see Alex Caceres winning. How about that?
Okay.
They're both of them are, I think, significant underdogs. But what is Bobby Green's line at?
Bobby Green, as of this moment, is +135 on DraftKings.
Oh, that's not too bad, actually. All right. Yeah.
Bobby Green is my answer. I am the most confident he wins this fight. I think that he should be the favorite in this fight. I was a little surprised. I think Bobby Green's just really good at fighting. I've likened him a lot to Jorge Masvidal. Not necessarily in personality, but in the fact that like Jorge Masvidal was the exact kind of guy Bobby Green is for like almost a decade of just hard-nosed dude, really tough out, might lose some decisions that were probably shouldn't have lost, but really looked like showed more skills in a losing effort than a bunch of really high quality guys. Never kind of broke through. Jorge obviously gets his moment to break through and kind of worked. Bobby Green, I don't know if he'll ever get that, but he feels like he's the closest guy in that mold. He's awesome. He is defensively excellent. A really good striker and a very solid grappler all around. I mean, it was not that long ago, whatever it was, the last year where him coming in on short notice against Islam, like everyone mostly was picking Islam, but it was still like, I don't know, Bobby Green's cagey. Like, here we go. And that's just an awful style matchup for him. Whereas Drew Dober is going to chuck mitts with him. And I like Drew Dober. Drew Dober is fun as hell. Bobby Green is a much more polished striker as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I think
especially defensively.
Defensively, it is not even close.
Yeah.
And you hear the way he talked in his pre-fight press conference. You see fighters like it's like, oh, that he knows something that other people don't. And Bobby looks like he was saying like, yeah, I'm going to teach him a lesson. Like I'm going to show him stuff that he is not prepared for. And I totally buy it. I'm like, yeah, Drew Dober is hard, good fighter, got some pep in his step, but he gets hit a lot, and Bobby Green is going to hit him a lot, and I don't know that he's going to have much success hitting Bobby back. So by far my most confident underdog pick is Bobby Green.
I actually changed my pick. My original pick was Dober, and then you got me thinking. I was like, you know what? I put way too much weight into that 2-minute shellacking that Islam gave Bobby Green, because then I realized
I feel like everybody did that though. That is not just
that's just way that's recency bias hitting me way too hard, because then I realized, oh, Islam went done the same exact thing with full camp Drew Dober.
Yeah. Yeah, you give Drew Dober 6 years in that fight, it's going to look identical.
And I think I kind of forgot how good. There's levels to this game, and Bobby Green is clearly a very good elite level lightweight.
He's so good.
But Makhachev is whatever. There's elite over elite. That's what Makhachev is right now.
The best.
Yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah. Okay. Should be a fun fight. I like the fight.
I think that's the most fun fight of the weekend for me by a lot. I think that fight. I mean, maybe you could make the case for Amir Albazi, Costa, because Albazi just freaking gets after it, man. But I think that fight is. There's no way that fight isn't fun. There's just no way that fight isn't fun.
All right. All right, hold on. Let me find it.
This is a good fight card, guys. Y'all gotta be firing questions out here.
Yeah.
I've come to the decision that this is a better card than UFC Orlando was. And people were high on Orlando, and I think this looks better on paper.
Take away the actual fact that it was a title fight, which no title was given. I honestly like this card better than the actual pay-per-view.
Yeah, it probably is.
Because I get we get lots of clicks for Patty and who's the other guy, Till. But as a fan, there's just fighters to me. I don't, whatever. Yeah. So as an actual quality fights, I like this card better than the $70 card we got last week.
And it's on the free. Well, if you have ESPN Plus, it's on the free though.
All right, Forrest. I'm gonna let you make up for this bad question.
We're back to backing, Forrest.
Yeah.
Forrest, what are your Christmas plans? What are you two doing with your time on the 1 month UFC break? I don't know if you know this, Forrest. We don't sleep. I ain't got no break coming. I'm working all the way until the next UFC card. We have a bunch of stuff coming for you. We'll talk about that in a second. Casey, what are your holiday plans, though? Do you have any?
I'm actually not traveling. Well, I couldn't travel the last couple of years because of the whole raging virus.
Because no one could?
Because no one could. But this year, actually, I almost every year I go to Japan. I actually decided to stay home this year. I'm just kind of chilling in my new home and just kind of hang out with my dogs. I just wanted to I just wanted to kind of do. I'm still gonna be working and we got lots of other things coming up for MMA fighting. Great website. But yeah, I'm just gonna actually just stay in the gym and just get better at mixing the martial arts and hanging out with my dogs, who are very old right now. They're both 16, so I don't want to leave them.
Ooh.
Yeah, two dogs.
That is very fair. You're gonna have, I won't say a better one because I enjoy my Christmas plans, but I'm going to Kansas City, the coldest place in the world. Apparently, it's gonna be 0. It's going to be freaking 0. I'm not built for that. It's not even going to snow, at least not currently forecasted to.
Oh, that sucks. It's 0 and it's
super trash, right?
Yeah,
it's super trash.
It looks like everything else that sucks. No snow. Yeah.
Super trash. I have never had a white Christmas before. I lived in the South for a vast majority of my life. It has never snowed on Christmas. I was hoping that this might be the one. Instead, I'm just going to be frigidly cold and doing that. But hang out with family, do all that. And yeah, we're going to have a ton coming for you for the next couple of weeks on MMAfighting.com. First of all, we do have Bellator V Rising, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, however that time ends up going. Tomorrow night, I will be watching the one and the only Fight Circus, Hanukkah Gone Rangaka, Fight Circus 5, coming on Sunday evening. Do some sort of write-up for all you hooligans on Monday. End of year awards are coming for us. I believe that's the final week of the year. We will do our traditional fighter of the year, fight of the year, etc. All that's coming. Rankings updates. I got a couple of long-term projects I've been brewing on cooking, which I think should come out in the next few weeks. So there are no days off for us. We are continuing to drop the best content in the game for you. Podcasts galore, shows, etc. But we will at least spend some of next week with our families. So I hope you guys are doing the same.
And I will be trying my best to find a Japanese feed to watch the Rising card because
I've never watched one with that, but I bet that's more fun.
They always give us the American feed, which is it's got 2 English broadcasters. I'm not sure who it is, but I don't need to hear. I just want to hear the Japanese feed. So I'm gonna be trying my best to find that.
I bet it can be done.
Yeah, gotta make a call. Man, I guess it's too late. I was still kind of waiting to get that call to be on that Rising card. I can kind of let the cat out of the bag a bit. There were attempts. There were emails made to get me on that Rising card.
But there's always
So,
next year.
there's always next year. It's like, oh. Like,
That would be so
there was
sick,
there was a good 15 minutes where I kind of had my hopes up. I didn't want to, but
that would be so sick though.
they
It
wanted me
would be the best.
I did have a kind of a loose fight offered, but I would have had to cut to 145 pounds.
That seems difficult.
Yeah, with the travel, and I've never I can cut to 155. It's like 45. It's like, oh my goodness, can't do that. So,
can you towel trick it? Could you just DC it a little bit there?
yeah.
Could happen.
Tim,
Next year.
next year.
Diggy D45 with Manel Kape's first fight this year. Does he need to make another big statement? Casey, you're the biggest Manel Kape fan, maybe in the entire world. So let's throw this to you. Where are we feeling about him? Looks a lot better, rocky start, routed off 2 in a row, delivered great performances in both, did miss weight, but he made it here. How are we feeling about him coming into this fight with David Dvorak?
Zero clue. Zero. I love Manel Kape. Okay. He lost against Pantoja. Pantoja's freaking awesome. First fight in the UFC. His first fight in a cage in years. It happens. He didn't get his butt kicked.
Pantoja's like the number 3 dude in the world or whatever.
Yeah, Pantoja's freaking awesome. I think most people agreed he won a competitive fight against Nicolau, and Nicolau's awesome. He didn't get the decision. Mm-hmm. And then he came back and won a couple of fights, and now he's had some weird injuries. And I think Bontorain, his last fight scheduled, I think it was Bontorain that couldn't make the actual fight. I don't know why and I think he's had some weird USADA things, and I don't know. I love Manel Kape. I have no idea if he's gonna kind of hit that full potential. I thought he was, or at least fight for a championship. Like when him and Yuri came over to UFC, I was like, both these guys are gonna win belts. I was right halfway.
I would say thus far 50% is pretty good.
That's pretty good. And Manel Kape's super awesome and exciting. He's second fight of the card. So he's fighting really early in the card. So I don't know. I have no idea what to expect from him.
Yeah, I think that this fight should favor him. I think he can do Manel Kape things here, and that'll be really fun. I don't know that he needs to have a big statement performance. It would certainly help him because losing those 2 fights did kind of put him behind the 8 ball a little bit. But where do the UFC have him ranked? I assume he is ranked in the UFC's rankings. Is he even ranked? Yeah. He is 12 in the UFC's rankings. Okay, but Dvorak is top 10. He's number 9 fighter. I think more than a statement, he just needs to win. I'm actually not sure a statement victory does anything huge for him. If he wins it all, he's going to move in front of Dvorak in the UFC's rankings. Amir Albazi will be 1 spot ahead, depending on how Albazi's own fight goes. And my guess is, as long as it is a win, he's going to fight Albazi or the winner of the Albazi fight next, which sort of makes sense from a moving up the ranking standpoint. And he just needs wins more than needs statement performances. But if he can do something really, really cool, maybe he can jump past Albazi and then he can get Brandon Royval or something like that. So I think Royval is not a lock for him to win, but I think that's a fight he can do very well in because Royval is sort of so hit or miss. So a statement could help him. I'm not sure he needs one, I guess is where I'm at.
He just needs a win.
A win is the most important thing. A win is a win.
Yeah, a win's a win. And it went because it's so damn early on the card. Like people don't remember shit from the second fight on a 15 fight card. All right, next question. Yes, Jesse, I was watching videos on Shibatar. How do you say his name? Shibatar, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Shibatar.
Shibatar, yeah. I was like, just give me some comedian. I'll fly out there and fight some comedian. I'll do it, guys.
I mean, fight anybody. Who cares?
Yeah.
As long as you're doing it on that card, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah.
Oh, all
All right.
right.
Oh wait.
So we are where the
Broadcast
broadcast has started, but we're doing promos right now.
They're doing promos.
So
Let me
this is
quick.
the intro promo package is playing, but the broadcast has officially started. So
We'll
we
go to
should be
like
like,
the first walkout kind of.
yeah, we should be looking at my guess is 10 minutes because they'll talk to the people, etc. But we'll see.
All right. Okay. Oh, how about this?
Nick Beardsley, who is the breakout fighter of 2023? That is a great question. I think there's only one reasonable answer. So, peeling back the curtain, we will not have this as an official category for our awards this year. We may do something very similar, or we may answer this very question as a separate thing that's not really tied to our direct awards. But we abandoned Breakout Fighter, doing Rookie of the Year. It's a little bit cleaner, and we think we like it more. I think I like Breakout a lot, but one of the problems with Breakout was we argued so long about what that meant and who was breaking out. I think I've firmly argued Kamaru Usman was the breakout fighter of the year and like got nowhere with it at one point. It was like, no, he was the champion. I was like, yeah, but nobody gave a shit about him. And now they do because he knocked out Jorge Masvidal. He's the breakout fighter of the year.
Wait, he broke out, but I don't think he was a breakout fighter of the year. It's like he went from champion to champion we care about.
I think he took the biggest Q rating jump of anybody, whatever. The answer for this, I think there's only one answer. And Casey, if you want to correct me or pitch a different one, it's Alex Pereira, right? Like dude came into the UFC, didn't even look that
great.
For
2023,
for 2023. Oh, that's very different.
Yeah.
I was going to say 2022. It is Pereira, right? Though I'm not wrong in that.
For breakout, yes, yeah. Pereira for breakout. Considering where they
he
started,
would be
to where
rookie
they ended.
If he hadn't fought in like December of last year or whatever.
And that's why I hate this. That's why I hate this rule because it shouldn't be. It should be like 18 months because there was a person last year we couldn't include because
you can't win rookie of the year if you debut in December or whatever. It's like
it was something dumb like that. Yeah, but whatever. But let's go since we don't have that award. Breakout fighter for 2022. Without a doubt, is Alex Pereira. Without a doubt.
If we're doing breakout for next year, though, do you have any ideas off the top of your head? I'm looking over fighters right now.
He'll also probably be rookie of the year by our standards criteria. Bo Nickel.
I mean, that is very likely to be a great answer.
I almost want to have him rookie of the year this year, but he can't be because technically he didn't fight in the UFC, but he fought in the UFC.
Same. Dude, this is tough. This is really, really tough. I will say for 2023, I'm gonna pick Arnold Allen. So I think Arnold Allen's gonna win the belt next year. I'm vibing it. I'm talking myself into it. I don't know if I really believe it or if I'm trying to speak it into existence, but Arnold Allen, breakout fighter 2023. That's my bet. So, boom.
Over Ilia Topuria?
I would pick Arnold Allen to beat Ilia Topuria right now. I actually think Arnold Allen is a pretty tough matchup for Topuria stylistically at the moment. Give him some time.
He's one of those guys I know he's good, but for some reason I have a hard time saying it out loud. But I know he's good. I don't know. You know what I'm trying to mean?
He's featherweight Rory McDonald. He's the same guy.
Yeah, it's right there. It's just, but then at the same time, I could feel it just going sideways too. I don't know why.
Yep. I mean, it totally could happen. But I'm backing him. I'm picking him. And it looks like we are about to have our first walkout of the evening, which should be Journey Newsom making his way to the cage right now. So, Casey.
Oh, wait. I like this one.
What if it turns out to be Jamal Hill? I'll be stunned, but that'll be cool. It wouldn't totally shock me if Jamal Hill manages to knock out Glover, though I do not believe that is happening. But Glover's old. Gets caught. It could happen. I'd be pretty surprised if Jamal Hill strung together wins, though.
If
as the
Jamal
champ.
Hill is the UFC champ at the end of January, the fight's in January, right? Or
January, yeah.
January.
I think it's January.
Will he be the most unlikely UFC champion? 205 champion? Is that even more unlikely than Jan Blachowicz, or even more unlikely than Glover?
I think Jan is still the most unlikely.
I think so too.
But they're all unique and different, right? Like at various times, one or the other was more than likely. I still think Jan, literally right up until the moment he became champion, I was like, there's no world in which Jan Blachowicz can be champion. That's just not a thing that can ever happen. And then he was, and there we go. So.
And he came this close to getting it back.
So, super close to getting it back, and he defended his belt too. Like, I think Jan will kind of forever be my answer there. So, but certainly will be pretty unlikely if Jamal does it.
Wow.
All right. We've answered them all. Jeremy Newsom is now in the cage. We're about to get the walkout for Sergey Morozov, and we will kick off this fight card. But before we do that, let's get to the picks. Casey, first fight of the evening, or first main card fight of the evening, Mikhail Oleksiejczuk versus Corey Brundage. How do you have it?
Mikhail KO round 1.
Ooh, I have exactly the same thing, so I'm very, very happy you said that, good sir. Mikhail Oleksiejczuk just throws the kitchen sink at you, man. Comes out chucking him, and that's what he's going to continue to do. So, boom. Second fight of the main card, Drew Dober, Bobby Green. The most exciting fight on the weekend, I think. Lightweights getting after it. For me, I already was pretty clear here. Bobby Green, think by decision. Drew Dober's very tough, as we saw against Terrence McKinney, and Green doesn't really put it on you too much. But I think it's going to be a pretty wide decision where his defense and class shows out.
Bobby Green in a slightly more competitive, but 30-27.
Boom. Featherweights, the fight I'm the least confident in of the entire evening. Alex Caceres versus Julian Rosa. Casey, how we feeling?
I actually had a tough time picking this one, but I am going to go Juicy J with the decision victory.
I'm exactly the same boat. Really don't feel confident. I am going to pick Juicy J because I kind of just have never picked Alex Caceres to win, and that's not worked out great for me, but it hasn't been an awful choice.
I went with this because I think the small cage will be beneficial to Erosa and just in his aggressiveness.
I can see that. Certainly the aggressiveness is going to help. Flyweights, main card flyweights, Mia Albazi versus Alessandro Costa. I am on Albazi submission round 1. Going to hit that flyweight under, baby.
Albazi KO, ground and pound, round 3.
Round 3, okay.
Yeah.
Co-main event of the evening, the people's main event, Arman Tsarukyan, lightweight contest against Damir Ismagulov. Okay, I think we already said this, Casey, but I'm on a Tsarukyan by decision. I think you are as well.
Tsarukyan by decision.
Yeah, going to be a great fight, back and forth action, and that brings us to the main event.
It's going to be one of those fights where Damir would not lose any.
Not going to lose any face.
Not lose, yeah.
Yeah, they're both. I think everybody's coming out of this smelling like roses. One just going to elevate a little. Yeah. And we're to the main event, middleweight main event, 5 rounds. Jared Cannonier versus Sean Strickland. Casey, how you see it?
Cannonier, TKO, round 3.
That is exactly the pick I have as well. I think it's going to be leg kicks. I mostly think Sean Strickland. If Sean Strickland can really do his game, maybe he can just outpoint Cannonier. But Strickland just loves to put himself into harm's way, and I think Cannonier is going to chop that front leg out. And it's officially a knockout, like a TKO punches, because Strickland falls over and Cannonier follows him down. But leg kicks are going to be the true thing that carries the day for me here. So third round TKO.
I think we both see the same fight in our heads.
Pretty much. Feels like it.
Yeah.
And that's it. And now we don't have to see the same fights in our head because we can watch them on ESPN Plus right now. Morozov and Newsom getting after. We are about 30 seconds into the first round. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. The People's Pre-Fight Show is done. The fight show is on right now. Keep it locked to MMAfighting.com. If you're not watching the event, just Follow us. We're going to give you all the highlights, all the best info. We'll be right back here post-fight with the post show. And the wheels of progress keep on moving, baby. Thank you for being with us. Casey, thank you, good sir. Love you guys.